It is Saturday night. I feel all right. How y'all doing? Gonna have a nice little stream today. We're gonna do the things that we were originally gonna do last week, but instead we ended up rebuilding the whole gantry on this guy. It's all fixed now. We are G2G, as the kiddies would say, with Toasty. My belts are still tight. I've been printing a bunch of hot stuff. No creep. We're good. We're good. We're good. We're good. So tonight we are going to, I guess you would say, wrap up the last part of the build of the Vzero, because we haven't done Inputshaper and we haven't done Pressure Advance yet. I always recommend, and this is the thing I've started doing, so I've always recommended it, but I'm recommending this going forward, and I've been kind of recommending it. Don't do your Inputshaper, don't do your Pressure Advance until you get some hours on your printer. Like, go print a bunch of stuff, because especially on a new build, you might run into issues. And if you do something like rebelt your printer or change belt tension, or have to rebuild your extruder, the values that you just tuned, you might have to redo. So if you follow me on the Twitters, which if you're not following me on Twitter, at 3DPNero, you'll see I had a little bit of a hiccup the other day with this guy. 2 hiccups. During the build, there's a little piece of PTFE tube, okay, between the hot end and the extruder. I just kind of eyeballed it. It turns out I was about short. How short? I was about half short. So what had happened was when I was changing some filament, it left like a wispy bit in there and it jammed it right up. So I had to rebuild the tool head on this. So I had to take it off, rebuild it, put a new piece of PTFE that's long enough in there to fix that problem. And during the rebuild, when I was putting it back together, I don't think I had the feed gear lined up, and the teeth kind of pushed against each other, and I forced the door closed, and I cracked that piece pretty good. So there, you can see it's cracked. So I had to print a new one off of the Guidler, but we're back up. So I didn't know that at first because I printed this Moai, and as you can see, there's some really inconsistent extrusion issues with it. So that was fun, and then I fixed it and I printed this Miss Minutes and it came out fine. A little bit of wobble, but I haven't done any tuning on this, or not wobble, a little bit. Still, extrusion's not great. I haven't done any tuning. This is still the full-on default profile. So we're gonna get Inputshaper going, and as you know, it takes a hot minute for the Inputshaper stuff to install. So while it's installing, Fadis sent me a box. Well, actually, to be fair, full disclosure, they sent this to the Voron team. They sent several of these boxes to members of the Voron team, and I was one of them. We didn't pay for these. They didn't pay to... They sent them all to one guy, and then we had to distribute them, so we lost money on these. But they just, you know, we didn't ask for these. They just did it. I don't know what's in here. I kind of know what it is, but I haven't actually looked through it because it's still sealed up. So what we're going to do is we're going to get the Inputshaper clipper. We're going to get the software installed because it takes a minute for it to do that. But I'm going to show you how to do it all because that's what we do here. And while the software is installing, because it takes a minute, we will open up the box, because what's in the box? I don't know. How's everyone doing? Let me check the chat. I haven't checked chat yet. My LGX extruder skips steps if I print more than 7 millimeters. 0.7. I run mine at 0.5. You might be running it a little too hot. So we need to wire this guy up. So I see they've changed it there from the original design, so the pre-made wire loom. So let's power down the printer and take the back off, because we need to get at that Raspberry Pi. And then also, my new Seaguire ES126 replacement came in, which means I can now do this, because it actually has a magnet in it. I'm a convert. I am all for these electric screwdrivers now. Oh, and let me get the music going, because I need the funk. Can you use another accelerometer to fry my ADXL 345? You can use the ADXL. I think it has to be an ADXL 345. There's different boards for it, but I think it has to be the ADXL 345. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure. Have I tried the Wow Stick? I have one right here too. I'm actually going to be doing a comparison video between the two at some point. TLDR. The Wow Stick works, but the ES126 is better. This has balls. This does not. This is, if you're doing small stuff like M1, M2, this is probably okay, but you have no way to, there's no torque settings. It is what it is. What you get is what you get. And it's straight push a button forward, push a button back. On this one, there's different torque settings. So you can have it higher or lower. I just keep it on high. It'll do up to about M3. M3, it can do most M3 just fine. And then to turn it, you push a button and then you rotate your hand in whatever way you rotate. So, where is my ADXL? There it is. So if that's the display, that's there. I've done videos on this. If you don't know how to hook up I've done a plethora of videos on input shaping. So I'll show you how to do it, but is my AdSense fixed? I spoke with them at length last night. The issue apparently has to do with some sort of synced account setting. I don't know. My YouTube account's from 2006. Okay, like I created my YouTube account in 2006. If you go, I might still have WoW videos from back then on the channel. So my channel's been around for a while, and maybe I turned a setting on at some point back in like 08. I don't know, but there's something with account syncing or something that is preventing that. So I told them to turn it off. I'm hoping that doesn't like refresh everything I got right now, because that would totally suck. But yeah. So we'll see. So what do we got? We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then it's on the 9th. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There we go. And then the 2 on the outside, and that is your ground. And that is the blue. Yep. So we got 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. There we go. Raspberry Pi is hooked up. Got that. Put this up. I'm going to keep this over here. I'm going to leave the back panel off. Flip it up. I'm going to keep it over here so I have room. Hopefully we don't fry anything. No sparky sparks. We're good there. 2 steppers per XY. What do you mean 2 steppers per XY? There's only 1 stepper for XY on here. New here. This is a Voron Vzero. I built the whole thing in a live stream a couple weeks ago. Welcome to the channel. Make sure you you smash that like button and like that smash button and subscribe and ring the bell and all the other YouTube stuff I'm supposed to say. Hi. I build things that build things. So let's get connected. Oh yeah, hopefully, I don't know if the quality is any better. YouTube only allows you to upload at 6,000 kilobits a second, but I just got fiber. So I'm trying to do 10,000 and it's yelling at me. That, oh, you're feeding me too much, but I don't know if the quality is any better. So I don't know if you could see if the quality is any better, but we'll see. Oh, someone's asking about Annex. Oh, I don't really look at those printers. Putty. Oh yeah, that's another thing. Oh, and another thing, I got a new router like 2 or 3 weeks ago. So instead of my like ancient D-Link that crapped out all the time, I now have a Unify Amplify Alien. It's got a touchscreen. It's awesome. But because of that, all my IP addresses for everything have changed. So all my printers, so all my like bookmarks have changed. It sucks. Geek, thank you for coming a member. It's looking better. Okay, that's good. I know. I'm also trying. I used to encode using NVENC. I'm trying H.264. I can't do 265. Okay, so got that. We'll figure out mounting it later. So now we got to install Numpy. This takes 10 to 20 minutes. So, we're going to let that happen. Let's open the box while it's doing that. So, Fadis sent this to me. I'm not 100%. I kind of know what's in it because other people on the team have had these, but I've made it a point not to actually look at what is in it. But yeah, did I see the video Joel stream with the phone app? I have not. I just weigh my spools. I take my spool when it's fresh out of the bag. I'll weigh it on a scale, and I'll get a tare weight. So if they say it's a kilogram of filament and the spool weighs 1.2 kilograms, I'll write 0.2 kilograms or 200 grams on the spool. And then at any point, if I need to know how much filament's on here, I just throw it back on the scale, take off 200 grams, and that's how much filament. That's what I've always done. I've never had an issue. So anyways, Phaetus, yes. So they make hot ends. I really like them. They're a very good bang for their buck. And they like Voron, so much so that they sent this to the Voron team. A bunch of the guys on the Voron team have this. I will say, I give them credit. Their logo guy is awesome. And then it's got, I don't know if you can make that out. Yeah. Like their little logo mascot guy is awesome. I love this logo because his hammer is a heater block, which I didn't notice till like a week ago. So let's keep hitting the wrong camera. Let's open this up and see what's in here. So this is actually like sealed, and I haven't peeked. It's all sealed up. So yeah. Oh, okay. Okay. Books, I think. It's a book. It's like a notepad book. Oh, that's nice. Yeah, it's a memo book. Like, okay. It's embossed with their logo, Supreme Pursuit. That's cool. A calendar. They can't sell the dragon. Yeah, they're getting around that because that patent's actually really easy to duck. And frankly, a lot of people don't even agree they should have been granted that patent because it's a pretty simple thing. All it is, hey, we use 4 pillars. And then they patented every possible alternative to using that. So they kind of found a way around it though. And then stickers. Everyone likes stickers. So yeah, this is obviously like a how to choose suitable products. Oh, that's cool. It's obviously like a trade show type thing. Yeah, paper notepad. The little logo guy. So if memory serves me correct, 'cause I've gotten these before, you can rip his head off and it's a USB drive, and on here is the CAD for their hot ends. So I'm not going to plug that in, but yeah, that's cool. I recently got a clone. See, here's the thing. Why would you get the clone of the mosquito when the dragon does everything it does and you don't have to deal with the paste and it's in a better form factor and it's easier to work with? And it's third the price. Wrong camera. Oh my god. Phaetus. PS nozzle pack. Ooh, so I have it's a brass nozzle, a ultra high temp copper plated nozzle, a hardened steel nozzle, and a hardened steel with DLC coating. 0.4 millimeters. Ooh. So I'm assuming these two are the steel, and this is the. Oh, that looks cool. That is. It's actually screwed into there. That is what is that? Brass with ultra high temp plating? Or copper. This is a copper nozzle with ultra high temp plating. Interesting. Oh, that's cool. This is what I know what was in here. This has been in the works for a while. So there's your accessory pack. Dragon Hotend Voron edition. These will start shipping out, I believe, soon, because they've been working on this for a while, and then the whole, you know what happened. So, because people are gonna bring it up, the Voron team had nothing to do with this. They contacted us saying they wanted to do this. I think some guys had design input on it, like just for the cosmetics. So I think a few people saw some early revisions or like ideas for it, and like, but we had nothing to do with this actual thing. This was all on them. I think we just told them, hey, this design kind of looks the coolest. And it was a cosmetic thing. And yeah, so we aren't getting paid for this. This is any money that if you buy one of these thinking you are supporting the Voron team, you are not. You are supporting Fadis. But yeah, doesn't mean it's not a cool thing. Like, we're on camera, dang it. So, fancy packaging. It's got little Phaetus X Voron stickers. And that's it. It comes with a little nozzle. So, it's a dragon. The only input we had on the design, to my knowledge, was the angle of these grooves, because it's supposed to like mimic the Voron logo a little bit. But yeah, it's and you can tell it's meant for a Voron because they didn't include the groove mount. They didn't even bother with the groove mount. Focus. That is nice. And it's a high flow. And it's a high flow. This, honestly, I have two mosquitoes. This is replacing the last mosquito I have on operation in here, because it's a standard flow mosquito. And honestly, after having to deal with the paste and the fact that it likes to melt ducts because the heater block is fat and sticks out wide, and pretty much every hot end is designed for the heater block going front to back instead of side to side, they're not worth it. So this guy is going to go in toasty. And since toasty is a toasty, and I keep hitting the wrong button, I'm going to take that button off. This came with it too. %, Ultra PACF. Print temperature, 300 to 320. So it's 250 grams of carbon fiber nylon. And I think this is PA16 or PA15, whatever the good nylon is. So we will get that printing. So yeah, that is the little gift box from Fadis. This package is actually really nice. Like, people comment on my
between Fetus Dragon and Triangle Lab one-like quality.
The difference between the Fadis and the Triangle Labs is they are both separate companies, but they have a single manufacturer for their products. So there's another company that makes these for those two separate companies, and they have similar designs but different goals, kind of thing. I don't know. They are technically separate companies, but they work with the same manufacturer. So yeah, the slanted grooves look really cool. And thank you for the $2. And I think I saw another one. Bob, thank you for the $5. They come with a sock. Yes. Unlike other companies, they have figured out how to sell socks for their hot ends. Yeah. Basically, the Fadis, from what I've seen, functionally between Triangle Labs and Fadis, the Hotends are the same. Fadis just seems to have better fit and finish. So that has been my experience, is they seem to just have better, it's a higher quality product. So, and they got a shinier box. And it's funny how, like, I commented on my, what is it, my octopus or my spider video. One of the things I say in the video is, oh, hey, it's nice to see, you know, printer components are coming in actual proper boxes, right? Like, we're actually getting, you know, like actual packaging instead of generic brown cardboard box. And people are like, oh, that's so dumb. Why would they spend money on that? I don't care. I'm cheap. I want to spend no money. I want to save 50 cents to get a brown box. Like, those, I got comments like that on the videos. It's like, it's just if you take the time to make a proper box for your product, usually the product itself you took more time to make. It's just it's a show thing, right? If you walk in by a restaurant and both of them are selling fast food and one of them gives you a brown paper bag that's just soaked with grease and the other one has like a nice box and it's all done up and looks nice, which one do you think would have the better food in it? It's just it's a marketing thing, and it looks nice. Does Phaetus make a Hotend with a threaded mount? I don't believe so. So, yeah, so we have that. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to use this on Toasty to print the mount for the dragon. So maybe we'll do that next week. Although I have to start printing parts for some sort of rabbit thingy. Some enraged rabbit feeder doohickey, because that's the next big project in the pipeline. Those that know what it is, that's gonna be fun. I don't know what printer I'm gonna put that on. I think I'm gonna put on the switch wire. Okay, hey, that's done. Okay, so what's the next part? Install numpy package. That's done. Sudo apt-get update. And yeah, tonight's stream is probably going to be a little bit on the short side, just because I got a lot going on tomorrow. So yeah, so let me and for those that don't know what the rabbit thingy is, because I always mix up the name, it's the Enraged Rabbit Project is like the overall name, but it's essentially a is it carrot feeder? No, it's the names for this are kind of funky, but anyway, it's an MMU type thing. It's this doodad. So the carrot feeder. Yes, this. I'm going to be building this. It basically allows you to extrude like as many filaments as you want. It's going to be sold by, I'm buying, the kit is coming from deepfriedhero.in. They are providing me, they are sending me a kit. I'm going to do the 6-unit kit, but it's you build it yourself. So you can build it technically however many colors you want. If you only need 3 colors, build a 3-unit. If you want 8, build an 8. Up to 9 right now. So how many channels? I'm going to be doing 6. I figured do 6 because I'm going to be showing it off, and I'm hoping it'll mount nicely on the top of switch wire. So what's going to happen is switch wire, I'm going to have to redo it. It's going to get a direct feed tool head. I might put an orbiter in there because I actually took the orbiter out of Tallboy. I put the afterburner back in. So I might put an orbiter in there, or I might just put another afterburner in there. And then I'll use the rabbit feeder or carrot feeder for multi-filament on that guy, because that's my PLA printer for the most part. So that will be that. So that will probably be a set of streams. Yes, DFH. Those that know. So that will be the next project. What else? I have an IDEX printer on the way. It's not a fancy one like Tom got, but I do have an IDEX on the way. It's Cartesian style, so I will be playing with that. That I'm actually going to do a video on. I'm not going to stream it. I'm going to actually do like a video on it, proper video. So. Oh, and if you're interested about the Enraged Rabbit project, here, I'll link it in chat. Yeah, or software. So that will be the next one, and then after that, I don't know, I think they're going to do more. I'm going to try and do more streams like this, just more, hey, we're just going to do something or print something on a night, just to relax a little bit, because I've been going kind of crazy with the streams lately and doing a lot. At least until I figure out what's going on with the YouTube thing, because that's sitting in the back of my head right now. And maybe longer term, I'll do a micron, maybe a micron. I kind of want to do a micron. We'll see. The IDEX I'm getting is the JG Maker Artist Pro D, or Artist D Pro. Who is providing it? I'm getting it from deepfriedhero.in. You're on the Voron Discord, you know. Scott, the Micron is a small V2. You're building a V2 using V0 stuff. Okay, so we're there. Now we have to configure our Raspberry Pi as a microcontroller within Clipper. So cd Clipper, sudo cp blah 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 blah, sudo update blah blah blah. Okay, cd Clipper. So as you can see, for like as complicated as Clipper seems, like 90% of doing stuff in Clipper, like all this command stuff, is literally just copy paste. Oop, I hit the wrong button. I mean, not found. Oh, make. Okay. Processor. Oop, no. And Linux process. That. Escape. Save. Sudo Clipper stop. Make flash. Who's here? DFH is here? Oh, where's he at? Where's he at in chat? I don't see him in chat. Where are you in chat? Oh, is it Jimmy McCool? I don't get any kickbacks from anyone who sends me anything. The only kickback I get from anything you've ever seen in any of my videos is if you buy it through an affiliate link in my description from Banggood or AliExpress. Those are the only things. So I've never been paid for a review. In Canada, like I have to full on disclose that. Like I can't not, like Linus Tech Tips did a video when it comes to like advertising on YouTube, and he's a fellow Canadian. So there's like hardcore rules that I have to follow. So if somebody gives me a printer to review, I have to say they gave it to me to review, and the words and opinions are my own. If they give me a printer and say, hey, we'll give you the printer, but you have to say it's awesome and say these certain things, one, I would never do that. And two, if I were to do that, I have to disclose that it is now an ad, not a review. There's like a whole bunch of rules. And yeah, I don't want to get in trouble. So that's the problem. Every time I change. Okay, so that is that. So we go back here. And now we need to enable SPI. that is under interfacing options. Enable SPI. Finish. There we go. Where to get the 80XL? Amazon or AliExpress. 345. The board I use is this one right here. Like, there you go, $9. Well, this is Amazon Canada, but this is it right here. That's it. And then you have to solder it up, and when you solder it up, solder it so that these pins are barely sticking through. Like, you want this back of the board as flat as possible. So, fix my strap. I gotta take it all apart to fix it. I keep forgetting to. So let's connect to the printer. So now I have to add this stuff to my config. System, config. I'm not running the full-on newest version of Clipper on this machine, but that's okay. So pro points, we're gonna do 50 or 60 because this is a little guy. So put whatever the pro points for the middle of your bed are. So restart. I got stuck printing ABS, but you can't just do it. Make sure you're using a Hotend that's all metal. I know a lot of those printers don't come with an all metal Hotend, and a lot of times the PTFE is pretty cheap and it causes issues. Okay. So I should just do accelerometer query and we should see some stuff. Hey, we got numbers. See these numbers here? That means it's talking. So now I have to mount this somehow. So I'm going to turn the printer off because the last thing I want to do is short something out. And we need to figure out where to mount this guy. So where are we going to put this guy? Hey, right camera for once. So what I'm thinking, people have gotten all kinds of fancy and used like printed mounts that mounts it under there. I'm just going to take out like this screw and just kind of plop it right here, I think. That's probably going to be the easiest way to do it. So that's probably what I'll end up doing. Actually, I'm going to use the one up here because this is the that mounts right to the frame. So take that out, grab a longer screw. Hopefully it doesn't touch anything and short anything, or you're gonna have a bad time. And put it back in. Hopefully that's long enough. There we go. So we're just gonna mount it kind of there works. Close enough. That'll do. Make sure the printer all homes. Oh wait, I should probably turn the printer on. Nothing shorting. Good supplier for acrylic in the US, Tap Plastics. Motors can't seem to handle being enclosed. Motors can handle a lot more temperature than people think. Matt, that would require a lot of editing. I would have to go through all my videos to find all the clips. Like, I need to redo my intro for my new, I got a new intro song, and I need to pull a bunch of clips at some point. Tap Plastics, T-A-P. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna get fancy. I am just gonna use the auto calibrate. I'm just gonna try the auto calibrate. I use the auto calibrate on Toasty and it worked pretty dang good. And we're just gonna run with that because I'm lazy. And if it works, it works. Because I don't run aggressive input shaper. Remember that. There's different types of input shaper, okay? When you do an input shaper, you're not getting rid of all your ringing. You're getting rid of most of it. It's taking the edge off. And the more aggressive your input shaper, because there's different types of input shaper you can use, the more it will have a tendency to just round your corners. So if you like printing a lot of stuff with sharp edges, you don't want that aggressive of an input shaper. So sometimes, and a lot of times, like run a low input shaper and just bump your speeds up a little bit. You don't have to go speed benchy quick all the time. Remember that. So yeah. So, shaper, calibrate, you know. There it goes. Now, another thing you may want to know about is on Core XYs and some printers, you actually, it'll keep going up to like, I think it's like 140 Hertz or something like that, or 150 Hertz. You may want to limit that to about 100 Hertz. Because a lot of the times on Core XYs, once you start to get into the really high frequencies, it starts getting funky with some of the results. So if your config, or if your results are kind of way out there, you may want to limit your max frequency to 100. So I'm going to do both. I'm going to do a few things here just to show you different outcomes. Trying to find out trying to figure out where that command is to do the max frequency. So right now it's doing its thing. Yeah. Yeah, so it would be right here. So you can limit it to residence tester. You can limit how much by adding this line right here, acceleration per hertz. I think that's it, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, it goes up to like 133. Another funny thing too, remember, technically I should even have the hat on it right now. And not on this bench because that's not where the printer lives. When you're doing this, do it as your printer runs, okay? The more accurate you are mimicking your your printer's natural state, the more accurate your input shaper would be. So if you're building a Voron, okay, don't do your input shaper with your printer sitting on the floor with no panels on. Do it with the printer on whatever desk it's gonna run on, with the panels on, heck, even the door closed. Like, you wanna mimic it as close as possible to get the most accurate result. It's boring. It's right now. It's just doing its thing. I can feel the desk shake. I still got to bolt this desk to the wall one day. 3D Wildcat, I got the printed solid filament on your show right now. Honestly, I really like it. This is the mystery orange. That's what I printed Miss Minutes here in. And then I printed something in the red. I printed the Voron cube in the red, and I printed something else. Oh yeah, I printed the printed solid logo guy, the Sir Layers a lot in the red. I really like that PLA. The Jesse PLA is really nice. Still waiting on, you know, Jesse ABS, but one day maybe. I don't know if you can hear it. Probably not over the music, but it's whining. So it's done. Waiting for calculation. See? Doing math right here. Got safety orange and gunmetal. Nice. Do I have a link to the electric? Go on Banggood, search ES126. It's the Sequire one. If I was smart, I would have the affiliate link for this in the description, but I don't have that yet because I haven't done my review yet. So, right now it is recommending. Okay, so let's see what it's recommending here. So, for the x-axis, fitted shaper ZV to avoid much smoothing with ZV, suggested Mac acceleration 23,000. Okay. So right now it's recommended on my Y MZV on. Okay, so let's see here. Okay, so yeah, so right now it's recommended on my x-axis MZV 72 hertz, and on my y-axis 65 hertz, again MZV. So if you just type save config and hit enter, bada bing bada boom, input shaper is done. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. And then if you go to your config, it should be saved all the way down here at the bottom, I believe. Yeah. So there they are all right here. So there's your input shaper, your PIDs, all that. So there you go. So there's that. Any projects going on? There's always projects going on. Not all of them make it to the light of day, but there's stuff always going on. So that's input shaper done. Now, let's change up some stuff. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to limit my maximum hertz to 100. So this way it will cap out at 100 hertz, okay? Because usually on a lot of printers like Core XYs, it hit beyond 100 hertz, it starts getting funky numbers, and you really don't get those frequencies under normal printer usage. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna cap it out at 100 hertz, okay? And then I'm gonna put the hat on. because this will probably be printing a lot of ABS. Maybe, we'll see. But a lot of times the hat's on. You should look at the graph. When I made the video where I was saying look at the graph, that was back before the auto shaper was as good as it is now. Now, for most people, what I would honestly recommend is do the auto shaper and just use the values. If it doesn't recommend MZV, if it uses like 2 hump EI or 3 hump EI, just copy the values that it spits out for MZV. Honestly, most people, 90% of people, MZV is probably what you actually want to be using for Inputshaper and just not go as crazy fast. So we've done that. Let me home and let me put the hat on. And we'll see if limiting it to 100 Hertz and putting the hat on gives us a different result. So I'm not attaching my hat permanently on this guy because I will be printing ABS and PLA. Having the hat easily taken offable. You know what? I can't close the door. I don't think I can't close the door. But this way it makes it easier for me to convert from ABS to PLA. Okay, let's do it again and see if we get anything different. Just do that. What about Delta? What is a VK? Oh, Voron kit. Okay, so the original Vorons, when Max, or Russian cat food, started Voron, he sold a handful of kits, I think 10 or 12. Those that built those kits got serial numbers. And then somebody decided, hey, I built one without using a kit. Can I get a serial number too? And okay. And that's why there's serial numbers with Vorons. It just kind of continued on. But that's what VK is. It's a Voron kit. That's why there's only a few of them, and they're quite old. They're all like V1.0s. Should we limit the 2.4? I know a few people that limit it to 100 for the 2.4s. What about a Delta? I would love a Delta, but they're very hard to justify. Like there are better kinematics. Me bumping it there will probably show up in the chart. There are better kinematics for a lot of different uses. They're very limited use case. They're pretty to watch though. So what we're going to do, we're going to get this Inputshaper done. We're going to do a pressure advance tune. Let that do that, and then maybe we'll try and print something fast. Tonight's stream is probably only going to be about 10:30-ish, maybe 11 at most. Yes, like that smash button while you're waiting. What's up with Avro? It is backbenched for now. I don't know what I want to do with it. I don't know if I'm building something that I'm overbuilding for what I need or I'm underbuilding for what I want. So yeah, like every like small CNC thing I've done in the past like 6 months, I've been able to do on my 3018, including I got a video on how to put, I made that window, a quick one. I have all the B-roll for it on my computer. I just need to record a video for it. What would I use a Delta for? I don't know. I have like 10 printers already. And I have an IDEX coming. I don't need an IDEX. I don't need a Delta at this point. I'm gonna build a Scara. Oh God, Scara. Or Puller. Go, go, go. Actually, I think I used the wrong config for the limiting to 100, but I don't think it'll change much. This will show you how much of a difference the hat will be, though. Oh, listen to that baby purr. Voron 3.0. I love how everyone thinks there's going to be a Voron 3.0. Because the funny thing is, there will never be another numbered Voron. We're giving up on the names because so many people are confused. So many people don't understand that the V2.4, the highest numbered Voron, is legit the oldest Voron and is the least new. What would make a gantry whine or squeal? Are you talking about the motors? Are the motors making noises during certain movements at certain speeds and velocities? What is my take on the E3D's ASMBL? That's the tool head that can do subtractive manufacturing. Personally, I am not a fan of mixing additive and subtractive manufacturing on the same machine. Simply for most 3D printers aren't meant to have buildup of refuse inside of it and FOD. I wouldn't want chips and shavings and whatnot all over the inside of my printer. Most of them aren't meant for like cleaning out. The bearings aren't sealed. The belts are exposed. You don't want the inside of this messy, right? So yeah, I personally would rather have two machines for that. Also, I'm utterly terrified of somebody driving a end mill at however many ripums, Z negative chining that through a mains powered bed. Like, I know they probably have a ton of safeties in place, but that could potentially be a possibility. And I don't like that idea. So yeah. So it's recommending MZV 62.6 and 76.2. So, hey, what do you know? The numbers are pretty much the same. So it's both still recommending MZV. So, you know what? Let's roll with that. Save config. So that's Inputshaper done. Will I apply the belt mod? No. The belt mod I still have on my original Vzero, and I probably will keep that. If I'll probably upgrade the gantry on that to 01 at some point. But I'm going to keep the belted Z on there just because, for fun. So yeah, I think the ASMBL would be nice on its own machine. That little tool head on a nice, like, high speed, high rigidity little frame would be kind of cool. But having that on a tool changer, for example, I don't like the potential of, again, Z negative in China, a end mill at carbide end mill at 20,000 ripums into a mains powered bed. I don't like that. People damage their beds enough with a chunk of brass nozzle. Imagine people running an end mill. Let's take the accelerometer off because we don't need it anymore. Does the original Vzero have a name? No, it's Vzero 3. Serial number 3. Same with Switchwire. I didn't really start naming the printers until, like, I haven't named Switchwire. The only printers that are named are Tallboy, Toasty, and Yukon. I don't think any of my other printers have a name. That's just V226. Switchwire. Yeah. Okay, what kind of plastic are we going to feed this guy? Oh, let's actually put the back on first. So what I need to do, though, is because this thing keeps yelling at me, I need to put a heat sink on it. There we go. Now the Raspberry Pi will stop complaining, hopefully. It's like, oh, I'm getting slightly warm. I don't like this. And it's like, it's only getting 60 degrees. You're fine. So if you got it all enclosed up like I do, you might want to put a heat sink on your Raspberry Pi in a Vzero. Well, I know I got to feed it printer food, but I'm wondering what kind of printer food should we... You know, we're going to feed it some ABS. We'll give it some good old ABS. I like ABS. And then the rest of the stream will just be print and chill. Am I missing a... How am I missing a screw for that? How am I missing a screw or a nut? Oh well. Oh wait, I got it backwards. That's why. That's why I'm dumb. Yeah, that's why. I'm just dumb. There we go. Yeah, I'm sold on electric screwdrivers. Okie dokie. So let's give it some food. Let's go with some KVP blue. KVP Sparkle Blue ABS. And I am doing a video on this, by the way. I've been printing a whole bunch of stuff on this guy. So I will be doing a standalone kind of after action report video on the build, on the kit, things I like, things I didn't like, which there aren't many things I did not like about this kit. This is how you do a kit. So that video I'm hoping will be this week. Lanny, you can't share emails in Twitch, YouTube chat. What causes over extrusion at higher speeds? Your pressure advance, Inputshaper. There's a few things that could cause it. Because there's usually a bit of lag from the time your printer tries to push the plastic till it comes out. You'll see less of effect of that on a direct feed setup, which is honestly, I don't think I'll ever build a printer with Bowden again, unless it really needs Bowden. I'm 100% sold on direct feed on all printers going forward, because printers are built better now. Yeah, the only issues that I had with the kit itself were issues that pertain to the fact that it was a beta kit, and those issues will be not there in the production kits. And in regards to that, the panel issues. Some of my panels were like a millimeter too big, which you can fix easily, but it has to be fixed. So I think on the production kit, I've talked to Jason at LDO, the production kit panels will be undersized, I think a millimeter, just so that is not an issue. So let's heat this guy up and feed it some plastic. Which torque rate? ES126. I use the WoW stick. Usually the WoW stick, I keep like a really small bit in it for like M2s or whatever, or even just like a Phillips head. But yeah, the ES126, it feels so much better. And by the way, the batteries on both of these things are still from when I charged them before the V0 build. So both these made it through the V0 build, and anything I've done since then, including rebuilding the gantry on that guy, and the batteries are still going strong. So this one tells you how much battery you have left. This one doesn't. The WoW stick just feels very cheap. How did I get into a career injection molding? I live in a town where there's a lot of tool shops, and I started as an apprentice. So I'm just a wrench monkey. Remember, I have an apprenticeship program. Like, I graduated from the apprenticeship program at the college, night school. But I'm not an engineer. I am a wrench monkey. I'm just a guy who puts together and takes apart injection molds. Yeah, the WoW stick probably makes more sense for like small PCB stuff. Like trying to screw into like plastic, I could see it having issues. Okay. Well, I just told it to retract 100 millimeters, so we'll be waiting a second. Extrude. There you go. Eat the plastic. Oh. Oh, shoot. It would help if I put the, oopsie doodles. The screw that holds it all together in there. There we go. Why aren't you feeding? Oh. That'll do it. Probably should have taken this apart and put it together right when I mounted the thing. Oops. Okay, you go there. You go in there. You go in there. Tensioning arm goes on, so now I actually have tension on the extruder. There we go. Now we have plastic coming out. I'm like, why don't I have plastic coming out of my hot end? Oh, that's why I don't have tension on it. Clippers, honestly, Clipper is one of those things when you first look at it and you see like, oh, building the microcontroller. Oh my God. But like, go watch my video on how to install Clipper on a machine. I'm going to try and do a video on how to install Clipper on like a generic machine. Like, hey, how do I actually set up a configuration from scratch on a machine using a controller board that doesn't have Clipper config? It's half of it's copy paste. And then once you got it installed, like you can do any changes that you want to do. Like right now, okay. I don't think I didn't save it, but like, here's my printer. I didn't want to download that. Cancel. Edit. So on this config, it's at the bottom. So, okay, my max acceleration is 7,000. Okay, I want to make it, or 5,000. I want to make it 7,000. And my square corner velocity is 6. My max Z speed, I want to bump that up to 20. And my max Z acceleration, let's go 50, or let's go 50, because why not? Save, restart, boom, done, config's done. Like, as somebody, like, if you've only ever had to compile Marlin before, welcome to the future. Okay, let's put the hat on. Like, it's not as big of a difference if you're coming from, like, going from RepRap firmware to Clipper, but if you're going from Marlin to Clipper, the actual operation of it is like, oh my God, like, you'll sit there and be like, how did I deal with this for so long? Where aren't you going here? There we go. There we go. Okay, pressure advance. So clipper pressure advance is really easy. You don't need to go to some website, do no calculator. You need to print one thing and measure it once, and then you're done. So to do clipper pressure advance, right now we're heating the bed up because it's going to be an ABS print. So there's commands here. Set velocity 500. So this will tell it to limit your acceleration to a fixed amount for all movements. There's two commands here. You're going to run one if you're running a direct feed setup, and another one if you're running a not direct feed setup, so a Voron setup. So this is direct feed. This tells it how often it's going to change your acceleration. With direct feed, you'll see changes quicker, so you want it to change quicker. That, and then we need to slice something. So let's open up Super Slicer. And I got to download the square tower, which I have it saved somewhere. Clipper. Now I got to download the whole. Oh, wait. I forgot. I have fiber now. Downloading a whole thing is not a problem. God, I love having fiber. Doesn't make extracting stuff quicker though. Yeah, I went from a 4010 connection to a 1750. So like right now, yeah, that way. So I'm obviously uploading right now, so it's going to be a little bit under. But yeah, there's my current speeds and feeds, and this isn't even optimal because I'm running a 6 milliseconds to Toronto. That's a 4-hour drive for me because I'm running pretty crappy Ethernet cables in the walls. So we're gonna want to print this guy. Docs. Prints square tower. Oh yeah, there it is. It takes up like the whole thing. So there is a few ways you have to, or a few settings. So you want to print this 100 millimeters a second, fixed speed. So all your speeds and feeds 100 millimeters a second. Zero infill with like a 0.3 layer height with a 0.4 millimeter nozzle with no dynamic acceleration. So V0, I don't have a V0 ABS profile. Time to make one. So perimeters, I'm just gonna go 2. I know you can do vase, but with ABS, I find it cracks. So I like to do 2. 3 solid layers on the bottom. No top layers because you don't need it. Infill, 0. Speeds, all 100. Travel speed 300. Your first layer you could leave back at whatever it is. Infill. That, and then turn off all dynamic acceleration. Oh. Oh, okay. Can't do that. Slicing layer height 0.3. First layer height 0.2. Filament settings, cooling. This is my ABS profile, so we'll do 20. Layer time goal, turn that off. You don't want it to you don't want it to slow down. Full fan speed, layer 6. Yep, okay. I think we're good there. Oh, I want to turn on, where is it? Flow, I can leave flow off. Slicing, there we go. Nope, perimeters and shells. Align, yeah, so you want your seams aligned. You don't want your seams everywhere, so align your seams. So I think that's it there. You can use any slicer you want, Caleb. I like Super Slicer. I started using Cura a lot, then I switched to Prusa Slicer, and now I use Super Slicer. So it's like a 36-minute print. There we go. Hopefully I don't have anything on here you guys can't see. There we go. Yeah, we're good. Okay, that's uploaded, and now we're just going to wait a couple minutes for the temperature to get kind of stabilized in there, and off we go. Yeah, sensorless homing and Core XY, they do work, but remember, sensorless, you're only ever going to be accurate to one full step. Super Slicer is Prusa Slicer without the training wheels. It basically takes Super Slicer and gives you a lot more power. Also, it doesn't do a lot of things that Super Slicer or Prusa Slicer likes to do, like make your first layer of a bridge like thicker, because that can screw up a lot of prints, especially when you design things with like 0.2 layer height with a 0.4 nozzle in mind, and it decides to do a 0.4 layer for no reason. It can screw up stuff. So right now, by the way, it's holding, that nozzle is sitting solid. What do we got? We got 47 degrees on the nozzle. 100 on the bed. Actually, I gotta go to 110. Oh, I forgot to change my... Whoopsie doodles. Filament settings. Filament. Yeah, we need to, 45 or 250 first layer. Other layers. 245, 110, 105. That'll do. And it is ABS. Slice down. There we go. Okay. It's actually a really nice hotend. Yeah, this is gonna go in toasty. And it's red. I was actually hoping I got this much sooner because it matches the frame. I think it comes with a 0.4 millimeter nozzle, so. On my Toasty Boy, the X-Boy. Yes, I don't run smooth idlers, or I don't run tooth idlers in any of my printers. I run bearing stacks everywhere, and you will really only see the tooth marks in the print from the belts if you over tighten your belt. So if your belts are over tight, you'll see them. If you're not seeing tooth marks, your belts are either too loose or proper. No, you do not, Wyatt. I don't believe so, because that's how your PID and whatnot is saved as well. Let me double check. Yeah, because you save config and then it's done. Yeah, because you just hit save config and it's done. I don't know if the bed is level. I bumped it around the other day. Hopefully we're okay. I think I gotta bump it down. Yeah. I'm trying to remember. I think my first layer is... it might be on. Oh, I forgot to bump the bed up to 110. We're waiting on the bed to come up to 110. Oh well. Have I seen the fluids G-code for here? I have not. I'm hoping that works out good, because I missed that from Octoprint. Because again, that's one of the things that Fluid and Mainsail, they don't have any of the plugins that Octoprint has. So if you need any of the, if you want Spaghetti Detective, which tons of the guys on the PIF program still use Octoprint because of Spaghetti Detective and a few other things. Object eliminate area, or remove, or where you tell it to stop printing in an area if you have a print fail. Avoid area or whatever it's called. A lot of people use that. It might be okay. Can I post the start code? I can't post it in the comment. I would like to have a website up and running at some point. I have a website parked, but that's waiting on like the whole rebrand thing, or a URL parked. But how does they work? By you can have like multiple printers. But they all have to be running the same version, and because my printers are all running separate versions, so right now the way I have it set up is I just have different IPs, and I just save each one, and I just, you know, just load them all up by bookmarks. I unboxed the Fadis Dragon Voron edition, High Flow. So, printer's printing. You know what that means. What are we going to drink? I'm thinking Gibson's. I like my Gibson's. Nothing's worse than a bottle that doesn't open right. Well, deepfriedhero.in is sending me the package, and apparently it is, I'm supposed to open it on air. So, I don't know if I should be afraid or not. Well, I know I have to now. I always planned on opening it on air. It's content. Extra dog hair. I have a Shepherd Husky. You have no power here. I remember seeing eggs in one. Where's the doggo? Let me see if the doggo's here. Coda. Oh, there's the puppy. Sit. Sit. That's a good boy. Are you a good boy? Good boy? Kisses? Oh, he's a good boy. High fives. Papa? Yes, pleasure to meet you. How you doing? You doing good? Aw. Okay. Boop. 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 Okay. There you go. Gotta get the doggo fixin'. He is a heckin' pupper. So yes, you can send me any package with dog hair and it won't matter. Tonight we are doing Gibson's Finest Sterling Whiskey. Where is Duff? I didn't hear the telltale ding of $6.99 Duff doggo. Hello, Geek with the Jeep. $5. Thank you, man. Appreciate it. And it's 9:30. That's actually going quicker than I thought. So what we'll do, we'll get the pressure advance tuned, and then we'll try and do a speed benchy. We'll see how fast of a benchy we can do out of this guy. Yeah, I haven't seen Duff tonight. What the heck, Duff? Disappointed! I should have turned off all these bottom layers. Oh well. No biggie. Yeah, you only need the walls, but I forgot to turn off the bottom layers. I turned off the top layers, so it's printing some bottom layers. But now we're on the walls. Dustin, $20. Thank you, man. Appreciate it. I could not chat last week, but I did watch on the screen in the truck. Aw, thanks, man. Lanny Crispari, why does Nero have more subscribers than Golden Jaguar? Even though Golden Jaguar is more creative in building a 3D printer than Nero, who just buys a kit and assembles. First off, go and subscribe to Golden Jaguar. He actually has some nice Voron builds and puts out good stuff. So go subscribe to him because he is good. Go subscribe. 2, I've built that one, this one, that one, that one, that one, and 2 down there. Modded the Ender. I've rebuilt several of these several times, and I'm on the Voron design team. I've built 1 printer with a kit, so way to do your homework. How did I solve the Z wobble on this? I don't think it has Z wobble. It was more inconsistent extrusion from having a cracked guidler. Back in my day, we didn't have kits. How to solve issue 6. Issue 6 is a ghost that you'll be chasing forever with pretty much all 3D printers. Basically, the better your 3D printer, the more issue 6 shows up, because issue 6 is hidden by a lot of things that other printers, because they have issues, hides issue 6. So once you solve those issues, you start seeing issue 6. Plus, it has a lot to do with the way extruders are, especially dual feed extruders. You can chase everything until the cows come home, or you can just not care, like I do. LGXs help because they got a bigger feed gear, less deflection and angles and whatnot. I print a lot of functional stuff. I have a resin printer now if I need to do high detail stuff, which I don't have my Lola Bunny down here. But if you need to do anything with a lot of curves, a resin printer will do that. So I print a lot of functional stuff, which that doesn't affect really. So. Remember the first live stream where you build the entire Vzero, the cube had some issues, might be wobble. Oh, it was the, I still have the cube, and it's more just inconsistent extrusion from an untuned profile. It's not a repeating pattern. So if you look at the cube, I don't know if it'll show up in the camera. It is inconsistent, but it's not repeating, which tells you it's not a wobble issue. Issue 6 is an issue where if you look at a print from angle on a very harsh light, it's not flat, but all 3D prints are like that. If you're on the Voron Discord, check issue 6. Don't know if that's a gated channel, but yeah. Look up, what's the Prusa issue? Prusa issue 602 or 692 or whatever the Prusa issue is. It's like almost the same thing. Remember, we're melting plastic with glorified hot glue guns in rickety home-built CNC machines with non-encoded motors using stuff that's off the shelf from China a lot of the times. You're not going to get perfect. You want to know how you fix issue 6? This is how you fix issue 6. See how smooth that is? Okay. To fix issue 6, you go to my video on the Anycubic Photon Mono 2K, you go to that affiliate link and you go buy yourself a resin printer. Then you won't have to worry about issue 6. I actually really like resin printers now, but I will never, they are niche as heck. They're good for models, that's about it, and figures. Problem with single gear extruders is you don't have the grip. I would trade issue 6 with 100% reliability than not having issue 6 and having slipping and feeding issues and not being able to push plastic as fast any day. So. Exactly, Dwayne. Like, these are home-built glorified hot glue guns. Like, plastic will never, the filament will never be 100% the same. Your tension will never be 100% the same. There is 101 variables that will affect how much plastic comes out of that nozzle at any given moment. You can get it good, but you can't get it perfect. The issue to fix issue 6 is buy 600 grit sandpaper and sand your print. Like, I have the Photon Mono. I don't think I'll ever get another resin. The only reason I got that is because Banggood's like, hey, do you want something? I'm like, I have enough 3D printer, send me a resin. It's like this time, I'm like, send me some electric screwdrivers so I can play with those and try them out. So I gotta do a video on those on some point. Would a bottom 3mm ABS panel warp? It could. Depends how hot it gets. Let me see if I can find a picture. So when people refer to what is issue 6, it's basically when you take a print and you shine light coming directly down from over top and you see this. So see how you have this inconsistency there? Okay. That's issue 6. Depending on your lighting, these prints I think are exactly the same, but depending on how the light hits them, you see this. But if the light's coming straight on, you don't see that. That's why if you go on R3DP and you look at all the prints, they're all with direct light coming directly at them. But if you shine light directly down on a 3D printer, it accentuates all the imperfections. Pretty much all 3D printers suffer from it. Some printers you don't see it because other things that they have wrong with them hide that. Noob D, exactly. 3D printers have so many variables. Like, subtractive manufacturing is just measure your cutter first. You should be good to go, at least on a good cut, CNC. Not the same as moire. I deal with the issue by just not caring about it. Like, that looks good to me. That looks good to me. I'm okay with that. Use matte filament. Exactly. This is Polyterra charcoal black PLA. So one of those little puzzle trap pieces. You can find it on Thangs, which isn't sponsoring the show tonight, but you can find it there anyways. Yeah. Have fun with the build, Sonny. Yeah, the Polyterra stuff, where is it? Yeah. I got two spool. I got this and I got a spool of the teal. The teal I had issues with. It was popping a lot. But this black matte was really nice, the charcoal. And then I finally grabbed a spool of marble. So I have marble PLA. I've got a ton of silk filament now. Sparta's been hooking me up. So shout out to Sparta 3D. But, and I've got like 10 spools of polyalchemy. I actually have, like, in terms of stock of filaments, like, I'm starting to actually get stocked up. So the plan is actually that closet that is full of garbage. I am going to keep it open now and put shelving on each side so that I can actually move a lot of stuff from the shelves I have back here into the closet so that I can put a rack for printers here on this wall, like a vertical rack for the printers that I don't use so often, like the Ender and whatnot, so that this way I actually have room because I'm running out of room. Oh, Photochromac. Take care, man. ACM. Honestly, ACM's really nice. And it's rigid. It don't move. Did my Sparta 3D pop? No. All the Sparta 3D Sparkle ABS that I have has been rock solid. Like, I'm really digging it. I've been using it more than eSun lately. So... although this Sparta or this KVP ABS needs a little bit of time in the dryer, I think. Somebody did a video on dual gear extruder and the inherent problem with them. The problem is, are you okay trading up a very, in my opinion, small cosmetic defect for a much greater reliability and ability to feed filament faster and better and more accurately? Like, in my opinion, the trade-off is very worth it. That's a bad camera angle. So yeah, so now I have a nice little Fadis notebook. The days of the week and whatnot. It's like a journal. It's actually really nice. I'll probably hang on to this for my notebook for like writing stuff down. How to choose the suitable products. Oh, it tells you like what hot ends they recommend and whatnot. Ooh. What is this? What is that? I don't see that. Okay, so this is Phaetus's website. So they're starting to sell filament. So I want to see how this filament works because apparently it's pretty good. So they got the Phaetus X Voron hot ends, the Dragon Hick, which is like a juiced up volcano, the Dragonfly, which I really like, the Dragonfly, the normal dragon, and then a bunch of nozzles. But what they don't have on their website what's a Phoenix? What is a Phoenix? Huh. What is a Phoenix? What is a Fadis Phoenix? Stefan, 10 euro. Thank you, man. Appreciate it. Just got my cereal. Awesome. Thank you for your awesome work and content. Thank you for enjoying it. Hope it helped. Fadis Phoenix. What is the Phoenix? I don't know. Yeah, it's an extruder hot end con. A lot of people are doing the extruder hot end. I'm still not 100% sold on it. The problem is that it limits you into the whole form factor that it comes in, and you only have the one option. So, well, I'm supposed to open this up on stream. Well, I'm not supposed to do anything with it. They sent it to everyone on the senior Voron teams. But yeah, I don't know what that is. I'm checking their Twitter right now to see if they have it. US law doesn't apply. Well, they're trying to send cease and desist to a bunch of companies selling Dragon stuff, and then when their companies are trying to... I'm not going to get into that right now, actually. Yeah, I don't see anything on their Twitter about it. Yeah, marketing, guerrilla marketing. Thank you, Fadis. I will say, like, I love their logo guy. Like, that sticker is going on a printer, the hammer sticker, their hammer hot end stickers. Patent laws are tricky. There are a lot of countries that have reciprocal agreements with patent laws. The thing was, the whole slice patent was patent pending for the longest time, and a lot of people didn't think they were going to get it. Because, again, bimetal heat breaks aren't patented. Other companies make them. I know other companies make them, and they've never been taken down. You can make a printer with a bimetal heat break. The whole thing was the standoffs. I know how they're going to get around it. It's a very simple setup, and it won't affect performance at all. These were in the making before all the lawyer stuff, and a lot of people thought they weren't going to get the patent anyways, because it's a pretty generic thing. Their patent is pretty open. And yeah, but they're a bunch of medical guys from the medical field who moved into 3D printing, so they know good lawyers. I just had a massive blob on my TL Dragon. I used the thermal blower to remove it and noticed that my heat break turned the golden color. Metals will discolor depending when they heat up. Hopefully you didn't heat it past the point where it would actually deform. You should be okay. Reverse boning's just a term where, like, okay, so this is running a quote-unquote reverse boning. Remember, a ton of terms in 3D printing aren't right, but that's just what we use. So reverse Bowden is basically a Bowden tube feeding into the extruder that feeds into the hot end, okay? So in this case, this little Bowden tube that you see there is actually like a 3mm ID Bowden tube. And all it is to guide the filament into the extruder so that it's contained. It's not flopping all over the place. It's really good on printers like this where you don't want the filament would kink if you tried to feed it up directly. Or on a printer like my V2s where your tool head moves in the X, Y, and Z, where you can have the filament get really tight if you're like printing in one corner, and then if you do a rapid move to the other side of the bed, I've actually had the filament break because it wasn't able to pull enough out quick enough and it got caught and it broke, which obviously that sucks. So when you have a reverse Bowden that's long enough to reach all areas that the tool head moves, there's always a buffer of filament in there, so you don't have that tug when you move into different locations. So have I tried out FF? I don't have enough time. I want to get into Final Fantasy 14. I played it a bit. I don't have time, unfortunately. Go, go, go. Yeah, like, was it when WoW Classic relaunched there? I lost like a good 3 months of my life to that. If you look at my YouTube channel, there's a big gap in content from about early September 2019 to about January 2020. It's just a friction mount. So on this one, it's just sitting in like a cutout in the plastic, like it's designed into it. So if you were to go in there, you could pull it out. But because the filament's always being fed in, it's fine. And like the LGX, there's a Bowden coupling there to hold it. Ken's saying, I know I'm not in. Okay, so how do I say this as PC as possible? I'm on the Voron design team. The head of Annex, or the guy who founded it, used to be on the Voron design team, and he left. And there are reasons I won't touch an Annex printer. So anyways. I won't go into the history. I won't go into all the nitty-gritty details. But I know about it, so I won't touch them. Old school rune. I tried old school RuneScape back in high school in like 2003. I haven't touched RuneScape since like, I remember playing it on like the Windows 98 computers, the Pentium 2 Windows 98s back then. %60. Torx Fighter. With the reverse Bowden, so with the feeder Bowden tube, like everyone in 3D printing needs to sit down one day and actually figure out proper names for everything. Yeah, so with a feeder Bowden tube, you want a large ID. You want 3mm, because if it's tight, it's going to have more resistance. It's going to cause more drag. Your extruder is going to have to work more to pull a filament. So you want like 3mm ID. So yeah. Anything happen fun at work this week? No, work sucks. I know. But no, you want that. You don't want it to bind and drag. Yeah. We need to figure out all these 3D printing terms. That's why, if you notice, I don't refer to these as direct drive tool heads. These are direct feed tool heads. Direct drive is when the feed gear is directly mounted to the drive shaft of an extruder. So on I don't have one. A generic Ender 3 extruder. I have one over here. No, I took it off and I don't know where I put it. On the default Ender 3 extruder, that's a direct drive extruder because the drive gear is directly on the drive shaft. Location doesn't matter. Direct feed is when it feeds it directly into the hot end. That's what I like to refer to them as. It makes some more sense, I believe. Because you can have belted feed extruders, which honestly I don't like direct feed a lot, because when you have direct feed, the heat of the stepper motor can get into the feed gear, which if it gets hot, and I've seen it on my Monoprice Select Mini, where the actual spur gear got warm and it was starting to melt the plastic a lot when it was doing something with a lot of retractions in a small area, because it transfers that heat in. So you want to decouple your feed gear from the drive shaft of a hot stepper motor. So. Oh, the what is it, Warcraft 3 Reforged? I was gonna get that, and then as soon as I seen all the reviews, I'm like, nope. No pre-order. Yeah, Bowdens aren't expensive. Remember too, Bowden's a consumable. You probably should be replacing your Bowden tube not regularly. Depends how much you print. But put it this way, back when I ran my V2 the most, back when I did PIF, I was wearing out Bowden tubes. I was replacing them. I can't give you an exact hour figure. But I was using the 1.mm ID stuff. That's back when it was a Bowden setup. And you could see where the Bowden tube fed into the tool head. It was legit like worn out to the point where the hole was oblonged. Filament is ever so slightly abrasive. and it's constantly rubbing on a Bowden tube, especially when it goes into like does a direction change, like into a tool head. So filament or Bowden tube, PTFE tube is a consumable. Same with belts, same with bearings. There's things on 3D printers that just kind of wear out. Golden, speed isn't everything. Speed is nice, but speed isn't everything. I get mine off Amazon. I just put some in Toasty there. That issue. See, that's one thing I was kind of worried about with the MMU, but apparently the, oh, well, Max, you should know, the Enraged Rabbit doesn't have that issue as much, apparently, so we shall see. The LED mounts. Yes, okay, I gotta put these in Toasties, or in B226. I hack these together. These are the switch wire mounts, the switch wire LED mounts. They're supposed to be VHB'd on. All I did was literally add tabs on it in like 30 seconds in Fusion 360. I don't have the STL for it, unfortunately. At least not on this computer. What do I think of the Rat Rig V3? Why do you ask? Or you know what? That's a great question. The answer is I don't have one. It's a modern Core XY printer. It's probably fine. I don't know. It's a modern Core XY printer. They're all pretty damn good. Yeah, that's one thing, Max, I'm gonna have to figure out is with 6 spools, where the hell am I gonna put 6 spools? Because I know there's the carrot patch, which is like the auto binding up, like auto retention thingies. I don't have room for that. So I think I'm gonna have to hang the spools and then just kind of have them weighted so that the filament doesn't come unkinked or something. Fusion 360 STL. Least of the least, you don't need to convert an STL because you could just download the SwitchWire CAD and work on the CAD directly for the clips. How much will... I don't have Z-Wobble in mind, so it shouldn't. It's an integrated lead screw. Like the SwitchWire actually has, like, we had to talk to companies originally, like when this thing was getting originally designed, the V0.1, way in the early days, we had to talk to companies to get them to make the lead screw motor in here because it is it's a lead screw in a pancake stepper. So we basically had to get them to take a pancake stepper and put a lead screw in it because that didn't exist before the V0. So we actually had to talk to LDO does it, and OMC Stepper Align, I think, does it too. Are the two companies that there might be another one, but we had to get that custom made. So now it's a SKU item, so now anyone can buy it. But that didn't exist before this because there was no way we could fit a traditional lead screw. That's why in the original V0.0, we had that belted system with the NEMA 14 that's belted to the lead screw because there was no way that we could fit an integrated lead screw under the hood. Garage Monkey, make sure you're using the latest revisions with the current recommended lead screw. That fixed a lot of the issues that people were having originally with lead screw wobble. So you should be okay. If you do run into issues, I don't have the link saved here on this computer anymore, but on my channel I did a live stream where I actually put a modded belted Z in my V0.0, and it's a belted Z, so no lead screw wobble. So you could always go that route, and it's actually a really easy mod to do if you decide to do it later. So just PM me on Discord. Let me check. And if you try to talk to me on Discord while I'm streaming, it's in like streamer mode, so I don't get notifications. Okay, yeah, you have them all underneath. Yeah, see, I need to redo this room to figure out room because I'm running out of room. There's not room. Mr. Dragonite, if you ask a company nicely, you'd be surprised. Like Kinovo, if you ask them, they'll do some really crazy custom. If you want a custom voltage at a custom wattage at a custom size, They'll do it for you for the most part. Plus, it is what it is. The Voron is it's a large market to some companies, and they'll do stuff like that. Like, look what Fadis did. They made a, like, truth be told, they did this because they know they can sell this to people with Vorons. Simple enough. It's marketing, right? Hey, if we make our Hotend that we already make it red, call it the Voron edition, the Voron guys will buy it. And they will, because it's cool. But it's marketing. So, it is what it is. It's the nature of the beast. Unless you want a green LD. I know, next printer I build, I want to do a green frame. I want to do a green frame with green frame with blue parts, I think. What are E3D's colors? Those match together good. Yeah, maybe something like that. Do a theme build. I don't know. Okay, what's better? Okay, so don't build a V1.8 right now. You might want to hold off. But the difference between the V1 and the V2 based on the current iteration, the gantry is the same. The XY motion part on a V1 and a V2 is the same. The only difference is the Z, basically. The next iteration of the V1 will have the tri-bed kinematic bed mount. That's all the rage now that everyone's doing. So, yeah. The V2 will be faster in the Z than the V1. The V1 technically has a more rigid gantry because it doesn't have to move. Like the actual XY gantry is slightly more rigid, but you have a higher center of gravity, so the printer itself moves. The V1's a simpler build. It's less expensive, although the newer revision with the 3 integrated lead screws, I don't know if it is, but I haven't looked at the math. Personal preference, really. The V2 scales better, put it that way. If you want to go bigger, go with the V2 because the lower center of gravity makes it more productive. So, am I part of the Voron design team? Yes, I am. Been on the team since, I don't know, 3 years now? Something like that. Just before I started the V1 build. But back when I got on the team, it was like 10 guys. It was simpler times. The IRCFA, that's what I'm going to call it now, Dustin, the IRCFA. The IRCFA, I'm going to put it on my switch wire, just because my V1 is already dedicated for that, and my V2s, I could put it on Tallboy. Like, I could put it on that guy once I put the panels back on him, maybe. But, I don't know. I think I'm going to put it on the switch wire, just because the switch wire is my current dual extrusion machine. So if I put a rabbit on it, then I can use it for dual extrusion. What's the max size for the moving bed? So for sizes, the spec sizes for V2 are 250, 300, 350. For the V1, it's only 250 and 300. We don't recommend going bigger than 300 on the V1. Always bolted to the table. I already have my tables bolted to the walls. Like these two benches right here are actually bolted to my wall. These don't move. How does the backlash nut? Let me see if I have one. Do I have one? I don't think I have a backlash nut kicking around that I can use as a demo. Yeah, I don't think I have one. Shoot. Let me double check. No. Maybe, no. To put the backlash nut, what you have to do is there's two pieces for the, so you have the piece that normally that you mount, and then you have that other part that sits in the spring. What you do is you compress them both together. There should be some indexing tabs, and then you put your lead screw through it and you thread it through. And then once it's fully on, then you don't hold it together anymore, and that kind of holds it together. So, Kuba, probably not. Is there any plans for a 0.2? This just came out. This is like, what, April? I think April the 01 came out. 2.4 is over a year now. 1.8 is over a year now. Switchwire is over a year now, and Switchwire is not changing really. And it's that is a solid build. That is a shit simple solid build. If anything, honestly, you'll just see more revisions within the revision. Because I know like the V2.4s had like a 4.1. You'll see stuff like that. Because there's nothing really big in the pipe. This is already actually way past the point that I needed to and I could cancel it, but we're gonna let this finish so I can show you the full details, and then we'll try and do a quick speed benchy. Call it a day. Will the next V? Yes, the next V1 will have the 3-point kinematic bed mount. So.
Just to thank you for helping me make V2.1686 a reality. Just got serial last night, and your content was a big help. Keep doing what you do.
The ODST, $10. Thank you, man. Appreciate it. It took me like a few streams before I realized what that name was. Awesome to hear for your cereal. That's good, and I'm glad the videos helped. That's why I do them. Okay, so LDO, Lanny, LDO does not sell through AliExpress. LDO is a manufacturer, they sell through resellers. You would have to find a reseller of LDO in your country. If you're on the Voron Discord, check the Voron, or check the LDO channel. They do have a vendor channel, and they have pinned links to a bunch of their resellers there. Or if you're in a country that, I can't remember what you said you were at, they might not have one. You may have to work out something direct. But the V0 kit is not out yet. I believe it is only going to be available in North America, so Canada and the US, by the end of this month, I believe. With the EU, they're working on getting it all certified and all the certifications. So there might be different SKUs in the EU, like a version without the electronics, for example. Because to sell stuff in the EU properly, you have to meet all these certifications for like safety and whatnot. And they want to do that, but it's taking longer essentially. So they want to do it right and proper, which I give them massive credit for doing that. But yeah, so Euro folk, I'm sorry, you might have to wait a little bit longer for the LDO kits. So. Actually, let me see where that question is. Sometimes chat moves too quick. Yeah, never mind. The LDO kits, it depends on the vendor. There's a, like, let me see here. It's solid. Yeah, so right now on printed solid, it depends on the vendor. So at printed solid, it's $650. And they aren't doing pre-orders, they're taking reservations. So you put your name down. and then they'll email you and list when they come in. Another vendor in the US, in Canada, Sparta 3D will be carrying them. Was it KB 3D? Yeah, KB 3D. They are doing something a little bit different. They're trying to organize a group buy where depending on how many people buy the kit, you can get it for a potentially cheaper price, but they need a certain amount of people. So right now, they're at 15 people. I'm trying to see how much you save. I think it goes down to like 500 or 599. Yeah, so buy breakdown or the price. Yeah, so right now, it's $6.99. They have it there, but depending on how many people sign up, it can get down to $5.56. But it's a group buy, right? So group buys, there's always the inherent risk, yada yada yada. But that's another option. So they like LDO was telling me $6 to $6.50 is what they were kind of aiming for, and then the reseller has their discretion on what they price it. So $6.50 comes with no, it does not. No Voron kits come with the printed parts. You got to print your own parts. That's kind of all the Vorons. But I did a whole unboxing of this kit. Honestly, compared to it blows the China kits out of the water. Yes, it's a couple hundred more. All the wires are pre-terminated, pre-crimped the length. It comes with every tool you need to build the printer, except for a screwdriver and like snips. It comes with a heat set tool for your for the most common soldering irons, like those Amazon special ones. Everything is good quality. Like it's all LDO motors, LDO rails, LDO extrusions. It comes with all the panels. All you gotta do is print the parts, which on a switch wire, 1 kilogram of filament, maybe a little bit more if you want accents. So, but legit, like I built this whole thing in 10 hours, and yeah, the fact that all the wiring is pretty much pre-done and pre-crimped and cut to length and everything, like they thought it out very well. It's not a flat plate, it's just an excess cut of quartz that I got from a countertop manufacturer. It didn't come with, I have a whole drawer full of LDO stickers. They sent me, when they sent me my switch wire kit from NERQ, the frame from the switch wire rebuild, I literally have like a drawer full of LDO stickers. Yeah, the pre-made, honestly, after using a pre-made wire loom now in 2 printers, so V226 and Tallboy, this one has a wire loom from Fermio, and Tallboy has one from Lineo, which is, Lineo's the same guy who made the wire loom for Tom for his build. And also you can get it from KB3D as well. The Fermio ones you get from Fermio Labs. They're both the Hero Fluoro, whatever, high quality cable, pre-crimped. Yes, they're expensive. They're like 90 to like 120 bucks depending on the size. Yes, that's pricey. However, it takes the average person, I think, 3 to 5 hours to make up a wire loom. If you value your time at about 20 bucks an hour, it's worth it, honestly. Time is money, it depends. It's like, hey, do you want to dig this stump out of your front yard or give a guy 75 bucks to get rid of it in 15 minutes? Most people will give the guy 75 bucks to get rid of it in 15 minutes. Wiring my 2.4 took me about 20 hours. Like, see, I'm an outlier. I've rewired probably a dozen plus Vorons over the years because I've rewired some of these several times. Back in my day, we used Cat 5 that wore out really quick in drag chains. Or even before drag chains. So I'm used to it, but even right now it's like 3 to 5 hours to rewire one of these from scratch. So if you've never wired anything before, buy the loom. On this guy, there's no wire loom really for this. There's a few pre-made wires for like running from like the power supply to the controller board, but a lot of stuff like the fans and whatnot, the wires are already run to the length they need to be and then crimped. So if you go back and watch my stream where I built it, you can take a look. Let's stop the print. It's at 95%. Come on, man, let it finish. And yes, we are way past the point. Honestly, I could have probably ended this print 20 minutes ago. I'm gonna let you finish. Exactly, man. You gotta let him finish. You gotta let a man finish. Octopus or spider? I have two V2s. One has a spider, one has an octopus. If I were to print something off both of them right now, other than the fact they are completely different printers, one's a 250, one's a random oddball 400mm Z1 with different extruders and different. They're different, but you wouldn't be able to know which one had which controller. Remember, Clipper, the controller doesn't matter too much. The Octopus has a lot of things you won't need. However, there seems to be less QC issues with it. I think it's a couple dollars more than the Spider. It is bigger too. They both work fine. One is having less issues. Take that as you will. So Mecha, yes, it has external voltage in. However, it's still stuck with 35 volt caps. So the most you can do is 32 volt power supplies are the common next size up from a 24 volt. So you can't use a 36, you can't use a 48. So yes, it does have separate VIN. However, going from 24 to 32 volts isn't really that big of a jump. Taco Raven 2.0 when? Yes, use Taco Ravens. Hey, print's done. Let that cool off for a bit. What's your favorite way to mount the dragon? Is that supposed to be in one of those? Supposed to be in something? With screws? Doing my 2.4 wiring with a 3-week affair. Oof. Yeah, here's the thing. Like when the Spider came out, they spoke to the Voron design team. Some guys on the team who have PCP experience looked at it, made some design change, like input, like, hey, throw on a buck converter so we don't need a separate one to power Raspberry Pi, that kind of thing. And then they went and put out the board, and on paper it's really good. However, they had QC issues, which you don't know about until people start getting the board. And that took some time for, you know, people to start, oh, hey, I got a problem here. Oh, 3 volt rails kept blowing up on them. Whereas the Octopus, they just kind of put it out there and we're like, well, the SKR2, you bungled that launch, but nobody's had any issues with the Octopus. So it's like, okay, maybe the Octopus is the good one. So, but both of mine are working just fine. So, hot. Where is the jumper? Take a look at the schematic. Go to the Physec GitHub. They have a big old schematic that tells you where everything is. You put a Mic 6 bed on a CR10. That poor stepper motor trying to sling that thing around. Do I cat up? Ross, all the Vorons have native mounts for dragons. Like this is running a Dragonfly. That one's a Skeeter. That one is a Dragonfly. That one's a high flow dragon. Yeah. All the Vorons are compatible with the E3D, the Mosquito, and the Dragonfly. How's the Flex? It's holding on with a magnet, and it's actually working really good. And this is a, ooh, that's hot. This is an LDO flex plate. This thing is magic. Like, it's a PEI flex plate. It's good, but I've had extremely good luck with things just popping off this as soon as it gets to room temperature. Like, this is actually a really good flex plate. And the kit comes with 2. I don't know where the second one went, but the kit comes with 2 of these. So you can, like, it comes with one that's textured and then one with the sticker. And like the bed's all chamfered and everything. Like, oh my, go back and watch the video when I unbox this kit. I gush over it because they did a damn good job. Okay, so how to do pressure advance. Let's see here. So now we need to do math because you guys all love math. David's here. Hi, David. Everyone say hi, David. Do this now. Do not use high temperature PLA as an alternative to ABS. We've seen it fail time and time again. Oh, now I'm hitting the wrong camera for that way. So, pressure advance. You input those settings that it tells you to here. You print the cube as it tells you to, and then you measure the cube. As you can see, my cube, I could have stopped it probably about here, but I let it finish because I wanted to show you what happens when you have way too much pressure advance. Your print kind of goes to poop. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna look and you're gonna see corners that are bulged, and then they'll get nice and sharp, and then they'll start to fall apart. Where it goes from bulged to opening up, where you're obviously under extruding in the corners, you're gonna find, and you're gonna look, and this is your, use your Mark 1 eyeballs here, and whatever point looks the best, you're gonna measure to that point. So you need to align your seams so that the corner that you start and stop on is always the same corner. So that way you have corners that don't have that defect to measure off of. And when in doubt, go down. So if you're looking at it, you're like, oh, there's about a 1 millimeter gap there where it all looks good. Measure to the bottom of that. It's preferred to have too little pressure advance than too much, in my opinion. Yeah, when in doubt, use less. So in this case here, and you're measuring from the very bottom of the print, by the way. So move it around in the light, bounce the light off of it in all the different ways, and just kind of compare a few different corners. There, and look at it both ways. Because it'll look, sometimes it looks better going into the corner than coming out of the corner. So you got to kind of compare and contrast. So in my case, it's about 8.5 millimeters. And then you're going to do some math. So in this case here, inspect the print and measure. So you're going to measure start, which is always 0 pretty much, measured height, so 8.5 millimeters, times my factor, which because I'm running a direct feed setup, my factor was 0.005. If you're running a Bowden setup, it'd be 0.020. So 8.5 times 0.005. That is my pressure advance value. So you go to system, config, extruder, pressure advance, which I had off before. And voila. Pressure advance smooth time, I just leave it at 0.04, and I think pretty much everyone does. And we're done. And that is pressure advance tuning and Inputshaper tuning. Done. So let's heat that bed up. Okay. So let's do a speed benchy. Hey, Chris. Let me check up on chat. Visit the city's local server. They just received a ModX big matter of 1 meter per cube. Oh. They also got a V2.0. Oh, that's awesome. So apparently there's a company in my town that is I think a filament manufacturer. Like 3D printing stuff. I don't know all the details, but I'm gonna try and see if I can like do a tour there or something and maybe make a video of it. I don't know. We'll see. Still very early there. So, heat the bed up. Pressure advance the same functionality as linear advance. No, pressure advance is better. The problem is with the way pressure advance and linear advance is handled in RepRap firmware and Marlin. It's a very, if you look at like, it's a very on-off function. Okay, it's not as smooth. Clipper uses smooth pressure advance, which is less violent, and it on paper has better results. So that's one of the selling points of feature. It's like how Clipper has a better motion planner on paper. Let's do a dumb speed benchy. Documents, downloads, 3D benchy. Come do a tour. David, I would love to do a tour of your production facility at Printed Solid. Unfortunately, there is a global pandemic, an international border, and I think an 11-hour drive in the way. Yes. But Murph, next year I'll see you there. Okay, so we are running our standard that. So we're gonna bump our speeds and feeds up a bit. So we'll go with like, we'll go hot. We'll go 260. I'm gonna leave the fan on low. So I'm not gonna go do stupid fast speed benchy. Let's just do 140. 140 is everywhere. 140. Support speed 140. Speed 140. Bridges. 140. 140. Travel speed 300. Acceleration, we'll do 3,000 for perimeters. Infill, we'll do 5,000. Bridges, 5,000. First layer, 1,600, that's fine. First layer speed, we'll do 60. Volumetric, so that's, we're gonna cap out at 18, which is about roughly what I can get out of this hot end. So this isn't a high flow hot end, so we're not gonna be going stupid fast. Perimeters and shells, let's see here. Oop, wrong button. So 2 perimeters. Yeah, quit trying to slice. 3 top, or 4 top, 4 bottom. Layer height 0.2, yeah, that's fine. Infill, 10% gyroid, sure. Slice. Let's see what we get. You won't accept my passport at the border since... Well, actually, no, I forgot. They just changed it. So it used to be, you could cross the border. The problem is if you were coming back into Canada, and you, it used to be you had to quarantine for 2 weeks. That's the rule. CBSA rule. Coming back to Canada from the pandemic, or from the US, you have to quarantine for 2 weeks, which sucks. So we're looking at like a 38-minute benchy, but I don't think that's right. Oh, wait, I gotta turn off min layer time. Oh, I do have min layer time turned off. Oh well. Yeah, we'll see. This is gonna be a fast one anyways. They just got rid of that because I am fully vaccinated now, that if you are fully vaccinated, you can waive that, but I would have to get a COVID test before coming back to show I'm negative. Yeah. The Yukon's motor. It wasn't these motors. It was the 0.9s, which I guess the 0.9 LDO motors with 2209s. Certain speeds and feeds do get kind of funky. So what I did was to fix that issue with those motors, I took those motors out and put them on the shelf, and I put my normal 1.8s in that I use on everything else, and I haven't had the issue since then. Well, Murph is, I think they normally do it in April. So, like, last year's Murph, 2020, that got canceled because due to the Rona. The Voron team, we had like 15 guys going. We had 2 booths renting. We were going to make a huge thing and go and like release, like the Vzero at the time was going to be announced there. And we were going to have a huge party. And then Rona. And then this year, I think one guy went. This year's Murph was kind of because everyone was so surprised they even had it. But next year, like, I live across the border, but it's only like a 4-hour drive to get to wherever it is in Illinois it's at. So it's not a big drive for me to get there. Yeah, David. Like I was speaking with, after I paneled this guy up and I had the issues with the panels being slightly oversized and they're gonna undersize them, they were telling me they're still prepping the kits, so. Like, honestly, it's better to deliver something that's fine and perfect a week late than have something early and have issues, so. Oh, shoot, I forgot the acceleration values. Oh, wait, no, did I? No, I put those back, yeah. Random name. No, you do not. Usually your slicer has a default max acceleration. And if you're, or correction, normally your firmware has a default max acceleration. And then your slicer, depending on the slicer and depending on the default options, some default options are use whatever your firmware's is. Or if you set it in your slicer, it would be like, in this case here, perimeters at this acceleration, infill at this acceleration. Those values will override your default firmwares up until the maximum. So if your firmware is capped out at 5,000, it won't go above 5,000. However, this will allow you to run lower than 5,000. So.
Today on your streams tuning my Bender 3 for apps and sourcing 4AV 2.4. First print at 41 and on pace to match the slicer. Keep up the great content.
Cad Monkey FPV, $5. Thank you, man. Appreciate it. Awesome getting the Ender 3 going. Printing ABS. Hope the cardboard box is working out. Let's see how this goes. Phrasing. Actually, David, for your second filament line there, what is it going to be? Another PLA line, or are you going to be getting some more proper filaments? I need to figure out why it's doing that. It's not in the G code for my starting code, but it does this weird, super long retraction during that heat up, or during that purge line. I don't know why. I've looked in the starting G code, it's not in there. PTG, ABS, and a few surprises. Nice. You have no idea how tempted I am to get one of those at-home extruders, because I literally, like, we throw out hundreds of pounds of plastic daily at times. Like, the amount of wasted ABS we chuck, and I literally could just kind of scoop, you know, I could Shawshank at home with ABS pellets in my pockets pretty much every day at work if I really wanted to. But I don't know. I'm tempted to, but it's not really practical. What nozzle do I use? I've started using E3D nozzle X's, and I'm liking them. So. So this is on point for like a just over half an hour benchy. This isn't a speed benchy. It's like 30 minutes or something. But nothing's tuned for it. Factory waste. Oh God, no. We chuck out a few 100 pounds of ABS into the garbage every day at work. It's all contaminated with oils and coolants on the ground, mixed with different plastics. Our presses are tryout presses, so they're running different materials, different tools. A lot of purge. If plastic sits in a barrel for too long, it's got to go in the garbage. Like, that's why I don't recycle any of my plastics. Like, I have no problem throwing a benchy in the garbage, because what the shop I work at chucks out in a day is more than I've probably printed in my entire time doing 3D printing. So. Xeros. Exact. Cardboard is a great insulator. Like, I was printing perfectly functional Voron parts on my bonsai built out of scrap parts and a 12-volt bed with a cardboard box on it. Oh, you're right. It might be doing absolute. That is probably the... Ooh, where is it? What is it? It's G92? Or G91? Yep, that's it. That's exactly it. It's running in G92. So I gotta put a G91 in there. So G91. And then I'll move all that in absolute. Oh, no. I don't know. I'll fiddle with that later. Speed benchy. Oh, kilo qubit. Search for it in Discord. Like, which channel? Yeah, to search for kilo. Showing up. Oh, well, I'll look into that later. I'll just pull it from another printer that I have, because I can just compare, because I don't have that issue on my other printers. Yeah, I'll just copy it from P226. Fadis Hotend. Yeah, this has a dragonfly in it. There we go. Yeah, I just copied the one from V2. Because that one does it just fine. Do I run a Nevermore? No, I don't run any filtration or anything like that on any of my printers. I print a lot of ABS on my enclosed printers, so what I do is I just seal them up really well to try and trap as much heat in there as possible. I'm trying to see if I can block any of this light so you can see it better. Yeah, so you can tell like this speed benchy profile ain't set up right for speed benchies. It's slowing down too much for these corners. ACM is nice. ACM is really nice. Have I looked into home injection molding? I don't have an injection mold to inject plastic into, so I'm not really diving into the home injection molding. Maybe after I figure out how I'm going to do home CNC at some point, I'll figure something out. That would be something fun to do on the channel, but I can't justify it in any practical way right now. I don't even have a drill press right now. It's disappointing. I gotta go buy one now. I had one, now I don't. Well, David, I haven't had an angry bill yet from FedEx, but I suspect that'll come in like a week or two. They have a habit of sending you the, hey, you owe us money package just after you forget about it. So. Just make your first. Okay, the hero. The 101 hero. I've got a. Oh man, I don't think he's still on the Discord. Wrong button. Let me see if I can find it. Andy. Man, I can't find him on the Discord. There was a guy, he built his Voron. He printed, it was a V1, an unenclosed V1, but he printed every part in PLA on a 101 Hero. And for those that don't know what a 101 Hero is, here, wait for the video to load. Okay, these are all prints that were not printed on the 101 Hero. Maker's Muse did a video on this thing like 4 years ago. It's an absolute garbage printer. It uses like a 3D pen Hotend basically, and it's like NEMA 11s. I don't even think they're real stepper motors. This thing's like junk. Yeah, like. But Buddy printed all his parts for his V1 in PLA on that thing, and it worked. And then he immediately reprinted everything in ABS. %, done. Here, you know what? 200% speed. Okay, so right now we're doing 140 millimeters a second, 200% speed. So it's trying to do 280, 600 millimeters a second. Yeah, this can be fun. I have no idea if the steppers will handle that. Look at it go. This is the downside of trying to stream from an enclosed printer. You can't see anything. The NEMA 14s, I don't know how long the NEMA 14s are on the LDO kit. They're the beefier ones, I think. Let me see here. They might be the 42. I think they are the 42s, yeah. I think they are the 42s. 42 or 52, I can't remember. '40s? Okay, they're 40s. I honestly, I wish I still had my Monoprice Select Mini. That's the printer I started off on. But unfortunately, like, too much of it died. See, this is the problem I'm having right now. There's no active cooling inside of this thing. So it hasn't been an issue, but the Raspberry Pi, as soon as it hits 60, it throws this stupid warning. And the thing is, it's getting like to 61, which is fine. 61 is fine, but it just keeps hitting that. And it keeps sending me a warning saying, oh, I'm heating up. I'm like, yes, I know you're heating up. You start to get issues at like 85. I don't care about 60. So, because my original V0, I never enclosed. This is the first time I've enclosed a V0. So on the V0, the way the enclosure works, you can still see back there. So it isn't a perfect seal because this panel just kind of comes past. So you can see the Raspberry Pi right there. So it keeps like 59, 60 warning, 59, 60 warning. It's annoying. Is there I don't know if there's any mod for mounting a camera in here. There is LED mods, which I'll probably do at some point. See if I can focus that camera better. C920. Properties. Video. Control. Turn off autofocus. There we go. There we go, now it's focused. Yeah, PiCam and VHP. That's pretty much what I have in Toasty. It is a PiCam with VHP to the back of the printer. Oh yeah, the voltage warning, that is super annoying. Right now on Toasty, or Tallboy. So all these are running Pi 3Bs, 3B pluses, except for Toasty, which is running a Pi 4. But Tallboy is running a 3B, not a 3B plus, just a 3B. that thing throws that low voltage warning constantly. And I've tried 2 different power supplies. I've tried powering it off of the Octopus board. The only thing I haven't done is a standalone power supply. It's always been bucks in that one. It's so annoying. But yeah, like it's never failed ever, but it keeps throwing that warning. So I might end up throwing, I have like a 5-volt Raspberry Pi fan I could easily throw on that Raspberry Pi somewhere, so I might just throw that in there. KB3D, hello! That's the guy that does the group buy for the Vzero kit. So yeah, so the only thing is though, there is mods to put cameras and LEDs in the top hat. The thing is, I don't want to do that because I want my top hat to be easily removable for when I print PLA on here. Because to print PLA, you just pop the top hat off, open the door, and you're good to go for PLA. Use pogo pins. That would be pretty ballin'. Pogo pins could work. But then how do I monitor the print if I'm printing PLA and the top hat's not on? What I'm thinking, honestly, is something that sits on top of one of these AB motors. Or sits on the extrusion in the corner, get like a wide angle. Because there's an LED strip mount that you can print that mounts to this extrusion here. So that's okay. And then just get something wide angle and stick it either on top of the motor or on this like corner of the extrusion. There's definitely ways to do it. Leave the top hat on. I know, but I take it off for PLA. What I need to do is, because I've got all these printers, are you ready for my super awesome setup? Because not all these printers have webcams. Tallboy has a webcam on it. Tallboy's webcam is on a stick. So this way I can move this stick around and point it at any of my printers, including the resin printer, so I can watch it at any point. That's how I watch my prints or watch anything that's going on in here that doesn't have a dedicated webcam. I literally have a webcam on a stick attached to a Raspberry Pi. So I need to get one of those tilt pan zoom wise cams or something. I think that's what Joel uses, and put it like right here on the wall so that I can just watch everything at once. Cheap but effective, pretty much. I have like on my computer upstairs. So the way I have it set up, like here I have three screens right now. In my computer upstairs I have 3 screens. And at first you think that's awesome, he's got 3 screens. No, go to like a Value Village or any of those like stores that sell donated goods. You can buy cheap LCD screens. Cheap. So you can see everyone here. Here's everyone. There's my camera. So these are 17-inch Dells that I bought from where I used to work. They would get rid of all the old computer stuff. Every time they like did like an upgrade, they would take everything and do auctions, like an inner office auction, and they'd have like a little inner office website set up. So they had like 30 of these one year. 30 of these 1024 by 768 15-inch Dell LCD monitors. And all the bids started at $2. So I put $2 on 30 of these, and I ended up winning like 15 of them for $2 each. So what I did was on the way home, I stopped at a pawn shop and I sold like 10 of them for $5 each. And then the other 5 I've given a few away over the years, so I still have 2 of them. So that's where I got these. And then like upstairs, I've just bought like a 19-inch generic cheap LCD, and I have that mounted on my wall above my 2 normal monitors that I have for like gaming and whatever. And then I have that one mounted up there, and on that one, I have Discord on half of it, and I have my printer's streams on the other, so I can watch all my printers when they're printing from upstairs. Luke's Laboratory is going to be selling kits for the V0. Okay, I'm going to try when I do the review of the V0 kit itself video. I'm going to try and put as many vendors that are carrying that kit in the description as possible. Lightspeed, I'm on the testing side of the dev work. I don't do any of the CAD. So yes. And it's stuck on with hockey tape. That's how you know it's on there well. If it works, actually no, it's Tessa tape. Or actually, no, that one's blue tape. It used to be Tessa tape. If it works, it works. Wise cam is cross border micro center. Can we go? Going across the border shopping isn't practical right now, unfortunately. Clipper is awesome for old printers, Toadstylizer. Like, you can take that old 8-bit MCU and you're strapping a turbo to it, basically. Duct X tape. Okay, that is a good one. That is a good one. That's all I really need, because here's the thing, if I need to record something, this is my setup. I have a tripod with my old Samsung S8. I use this for whenever I'm recording like something on the desk, or it does hyperlapse, which is basically time lapse, and it'll do 24 hours straight. So if I'm recording like a printing, I use this for recording. And it's super lightweight, so I use that. Seeing Z wobbles. I'm seeing a printer that is like completely untuned going way too fast. I don't see Z wobbles. Why does the webcam Pi software sync so much? I don't get like 10 FPS out of my Pi cam. It has to do with encoding, I think, I believe. It has to, I'm not 100% sure. It's about efficiency. Like, let me see here. So right now, Toasty is getting, I think it's capped at 15. You have to also remember, you have to go into your settings for your Raspberry Pi, your Octoprint, or whatever install to make sure that it is a correct. And then Tallboy is getting, yeah, 15 to 20 FPS. So yeah, same thing, or V226. Stupid temperature. See, it's just sitting at 61 and throwing that warning. It's annoying. How to dial in fan speeds? Toadstylizer, for fan speeds, I literally just, if it's PLA, I go 100%. If it's ABS fully enclosed, I do like 15 to 20% fixed. Of course you see an issue 6. This is not tuned for this speed at all. But yeah, for fans, I've only ever gone like PLA all out, ABS low slow fan, just to kind of help with overhangs and details. Yeah, that's a good point. The auto fan speed stuff, I'm not a huge fan of. I set my fixed fan speeds. ABS, I do run a minimum layer time though, usually 15 to 20 seconds for the most part, just to help with cooling a bit. The Viper seems like, I don't have a Viper, so I can't comment on it directly, but it seems to be a very good bang for the buck as it comes with the flex plate, PI flex plate. It's got a bed probe. I don't know what extruder it has, but it does seem to be a very good bang for the buck. But you got to remember, the Ender 3, the Aquila, generic V wheel i3 revision 42864 Alpha Delta. They're all the same. They're so close to each other. Just get whatever one works and is cheap. Yeah, and fan speed's going to vary hugely depending on even which model of fan you got. Okay. Yeah, we talked about all that. It's starting to get pretty, well, not normally late, but in my case, because I got to get up early, I am going to be calling the stream pretty soon right now. So I will let this finish. I will take a picture. We're sitting at like 25 minutes. Again, this wasn't a speed benchy. This was, I'm just going to set some fast speeds and see what we get. Just to make sure everything's working. Because I actually don't know how fast I can run these motors. I haven't done speed stuff on a Vzero with the NEMA 14s. So I don't know what they're capable of. So I think I'm going to call a stream now. Just for the fact that I got to end it. So, as always, for all those who enjoyed the show, thank you for hanging out. For those that donated, you're awesome. For those that just hung out, watched the show, like that smash button, you guys are also awesome too. Hope you enjoyed the rest of the weekend. If you're not following me on the Twitters, at 3DPNero, I'm on there. If you're not subscribed to the channel, you may want to do that. Why not? Cool. Be safe. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Wash your hands. Cheers.